Hey there, updating your lease on an annual basis is probably a best practice that a lot of Chicago landlords do not keep up on. And in 2026 is no different. So many changes, so many different things that are happening on an annual basis that you want to make sure that you have the most current lease to make sure you avoid trouble. My name is 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁, partner, co-founder of GC Realty Development, and also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. Check it out. But in this year, 2026, a lot of times you have specific things that have to go into different leases. So for example, for our property management operation, we manage 1,400 units around the Chicago market. We have 3 different leases. We have a Cook County lease, we have a Chicago lease, and we have a not Chicago or Cook County lease, so pretty much everywhere else lease, whether it be McHenry County or Kane County or DuPage County. So we have 3 leases, and it's super important, even if you only have 2 properties, but one property's in Chicago and one's in Wheaton, it's super important to make sure that you have the correct lease because there's so much language in there that you can get in trouble for. Now, a change that's came here in 2026 is the new summary that you have to put on the front end of your lease. So effective January 1st, 2026, the Summary of Rights for Safer Homes Act is a 4-page disclosure that you're required as a landlord in any county here in Illinois to put as part of your lease. So you'll add that in there. If your tenant's renewing here in January, if your tenant's renewing in August, you're going to have that added in as well too. Now, that's another best practice. There's some landlords that will just add an addendum for renewing. They might do a 1-pager of I'm going to renew with all the same terms. That's probably not good either, because if you are updating your lease on an annual basis, you're updating things for different disclosures. You know, last year was the flood disclosure, so if you in 2025, so if you don't have the flood disclosure in there, it doesn't matter if you flood or not. You have to have that part of your lease, and that's an Illinois thing. You got to make sure you have that. So, as a landlord renewing leases, you know, for us, we have them sign a full lease again. And if you're really perfecting the craft of your being a landlord, then ultimately every year you're learning things too. Maybe I add that on there. And a lot of times we add things to our lease because we got burnt on something or we need to do something we weren't able to. So I always kind of stay on top of your lease is super important. And that's something here at GC Realty we do every single year. So, point of this video is really to make sure you're updating your lease. If you have renewals, have them sign a full new lease. If you need a copy of a lease for any one of those 3 jurisdictions, I'm happy to share with you a copy. But if anything, the one takeaway I'll make sure you have is in 2026, you're adding the Summary of Rights for Safer Homes Act into your lease to make sure that you don't get any trouble for not having it. Talk soon.